Buffalo Bills. Since I was a young kid. Well, most New Yorkers where I grew up were fans of the New York Giants and the Yankees and all of that. And my father, who didn't like those teams, and people who know about those sports, they actually play their games in New Jersey. So my father always told us they're not New York teams. They play their games in New Jersey. It's kind of like saying they're not the Washington Redskins. They play in PG County, Maryland. So he's the only football team we have that plays in New York is Buffalo. He's like, so you root on the true New York team. So that's how I got into following the Buffalo Bills.
What made you stay a fan of the team even with your move to Maryland?
Just because it had always been my favorite team, and although I liked going to Redskins games and doing the local professional sports here, when it came to football especially, I was always true to the Buffalo Bills. Well, of course, the Buffalo Bills are going to win, as far as I'm concerned. Well, they have a good defense, but one of the advantages of the Buffalo Bills is where they play at home. So if you can, it's usually very cold and snowy, and they're used to that. So sometimes it's hopeful to have it be typical Buffalo weather that teams aren't used to, and that gives us an advantage. But I found out that it's actually going to be like 45 degrees and no snow, so it's going to be a little bit of a tougher game because the Ravens are a good team. But I still think Josh Allen's the quarterback is going to pull us through. No. I think it's going to be a close game. Because as much as I make fun of the Ravens because of the students who support them, just like the Redskins, I know they're a good team, and I know they've had to play some tough teams this year, and our schedule isn't as rigorous as others. So the Bills haven't been challenged as much. So I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I believe the team has the depth and the quality of players. So I'm hoping they can, pull it through and defeat them. Well, that was very disappointing. And to be honest, back in that time, not too many students that I was teaching at the time really were Raven supporters. They were mostly Redskins or other teams. It just seems like this year I've got a lot more Ravens fans as students, so I hear it all the time. So last 2 years I'd hoped they'd win. I didn't think I thought they were improving last year. The year before they were not good. So this year I think it's more important to me because of the number of students who are Ravens fans. Well, the biggest one would be the home field advantage and the fact that Bills fans can really be a motivation for them, and the fact that the record is 9-3, which is the best record they've had, and I think in the last 10 years. So I think they have. I think they really want it more so than other years. That they're proud of their record, and that I think the team feels a lot more positive about themselves. So I think that's what's going to help them defeat them. Fun tension. It's just rivalries, having fun, picking on each other, saying your team's better, and all that. And that can make it a lot more fun when watching the sports. I'm just surprised at how many students that are actually in my classes are Ravens fans. Normally it's mostly Redskins and maybe one Ravens fan or two. Because a lot of students here also like the New York Giants, they like the Philadelphia Eagles, they like the Pittsburgh Steelers. So usually there's a nice spread. This year there's just more students than I have. There's going to be a lot of sad students on Monday who are Ravens fans that may be absent from school because they don't want to see me smiling and wearing my Bills attire.